here. I actually just pulled in my driveway. Okay, literally just pulled in my driveway. We're supposed to start at this live at 7 o'clock on the dot, but there are some insane things going on in the housing market right now. We're going to be talking about how to invest in real estate for beginners. We have a recession coming up. There's some crazy stuff going on with the housing market and 40-year mortgages. Okay, mortgages are crazy. I'm going to go inside here. I actually have this planned. I'm so sorry I'm a little bit late. Welcome, welcome. I see more people joining. I love it. I love it. Okay, I see more people. Hi, hello, hello. Okay, so like I said, I'm in my driveway, so I'm actually have to go through because I'm running late. So sorry. Like I said, I was on my phone and I was like, oh my gosh, I said I was doing this live and I have this whole thing prepared for you guys. And so you guys are really getting the real deal. Like I literally pulled into my garage, key in hand. And for all the haters that actually say that I don't have what I have, like this is really my house. So true story. So let me, sorry, garage going the wrong way. Okay. All right. So let's get in here. Let's get to it today. So this is amazing. Okay. Like I said, some crazy stuff going on in the market right now. Let me just put the key back and let's get to this. So the housing market, mortgage market is really kind of what's going crazy right now. And I cannot even believe that they are introducing a 40-year mortgage. Like I cannot even believe that is happening again. There was a time when this did happen, and to think that it's happening again is really, really crazy. And I'm going to explain like what's going on, why it's going on, what you can do about it, how you can invest and still make money, because obviously we're still going to be investing. Okay, so I'm here in my office, had to get it quiet. Oh my gosh. Let me just have a seat for a second. Oh, okay, so in my office, let me just sit down right here. So happy to be live. Hello, hello, people. Okay, let me not be too close to the camera. So, like I said, some crazy stuff going on. I'm literally in my office. You guys see, I always have real estate stuff going and different properties I'm looking at, and that's really all I do. Obviously, I'm in real estate. I'm an investor, but I'm also a real estate broker, and I love real estate. Like it's how I built my way to wealth. So now when I'm looking at kind of what's going on, I'm like, let me jump on this live and let me teach you guys what's going on, because there's some crazy things going on, but there's some lessons that we can learn. There's some things that we can do. So let me first tell you kind of what's going on in the market right now. So hey, 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 from Houston. So this right now, the Federal Housing Administration, FHA, has literally just come out and said that they are going to do 40-year mortgages. Okay, 40-year mortgages, but only in certain situations. I'm going to get that to that in a second. But let me even tell you why this is crazy before I even get to who it's for and what they're doing it for. So obviously, you guys know in most cases, people get a 30-year mortgage, which is already a lot. That's 360 months. But for the most part, you have two options when you get a mortgage. Most people will do an adjustable rate mortgage, a variable rate where it's, fixed for a certain amount of time, and then it starts to fluctuate after 3 years, 5 years, whatever you do. They're called ARMs, adjustable rate mortgages. Or you can get a fixed rate mortgage, okay? But both of those mortgages in the conventional world, the government, FHA loans, VA loans, those mortgages are not 40 years. They're all amortized over 30 years. Even if you got an ARM, they amortize the mortgage so it's paid off over 30 years. And they've tried, there's 20-year mortgages, there's 15 years mortgages, there's 10-year mortgages. But a 40-year mortgage, you would think if they stretched it out over more time, it would do what? It would lower the payment. So what we were seeing happening is obviously rates were going up really, really high. You guys realize that rates were going up really, really high. And so in the past 3 months, the first quarter, mortgages have been down at the lowest rates possible. People have not been getting mortgages. Banks have not been approving people the way they have been. Like the numbers are down, loan applications are down, less people are applying for mortgages, and lenders are not approving the same way. They're kind of tightening up after we've seen those 3 bank collapses. Obviously, Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, and the other one, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but we had 3 bank collapses. So lenders are kind of starting to pull back because the Feds were raising rates on them. And so those rates was obviously being raised on consumers, you and I. And so long story short, less people were applying for mortgage. Most people were just like, you know what, I'm not buying a house right now. There's videos been made by pretty much all of them. Let me take this jacket off, talking about how sorry guys, how we, are just, there's no point in applying for mortgages right now because they're just not affordable. You know what I mean? And then people were approved for a certain amount. Maybe you were approved for 300,000, but then when the rate went up, now you realize your buying power went down. You can no longer get a $300,000 house. Maybe you could only get a $250,000 house because the interest rate was higher. So you had less buying power. So that resulted in less mortgage applications, less people applying for a mortgage, and lenders tightening up and not lending as fruitfully as they were. So they decided, I don't even know where this came from, that they were going to switch out 30-year mortgages and they were going to start introducing 40-year mortgages. But when you actually look at it, like I said, before you even get to that part, if you actually look at the difference between, say, a $300,000 house on a 30-year mortgage versus a $300,000 house on a 40-year mortgage, the difference in payment is so low. Okay, the difference in payment. Thank you. Somebody wrote that, Silverbank or something like that. They wrote it in the comment. Thank you. It's only a 5% difference. So, basically, if you did the numbers really quickly, you said the mortgage on a 300,000, maybe it's, let's just use round numbers. Let's say it's $2,500 on a $300,000 mortgage for 30 years. And then when you do 40 years, instead of it being, 2,500, it's like 2,400. It seriously is like $100 difference in around the 300, 350 where most people are. And so to save $100 per month and take your mortgage out another 10 years just makes absolutely no sense. Okay. So I'm just telling you that right here. Noelle Randall is telling you guys a 40-year mortgage just doesn't make sense. If there's no point in going from 30 to 40, it's just not enough of a difference. Okay. Because another thing too is they were charging a little bit higher for a 40-year mortgage than a 30-year mortgage. So the Federal Housing Administration, FHA, is basically at this time right now, starting, they just launched it, is offering this just to borrowers that are behind on their mortgage payments. Okay. So people that are looking, they're behind on their mortgage payment. They maybe need a modification or something like that. And this has been offered before circa 2009, 2010. You guys remember when we had, some of you are not even old enough. And again, I'm only 42 and I remember this. In 2009, 2010, well, really it started 2007 when the recession happened, then 2008, and then Barack Obama got into office and he created the Home Affordable Mortgage Program where people could do modifications. And those mortgage modifications were 40-year terms so that people could at least afford their mortgage. You get what I'm saying? And then they would even do like a balloon at the end of it. And I'm telling you this really as an insider. Let me be real clear with you. At the time in 2010, okay, when all of this was he was coming out with these programs, I literally was a vice president at Chase Bank. And I was a VP in the the mortgage servicing department. And then I actually moved to default servicing, which are people that were behind on their mortgage payments. So I got to see these things firsthand. I saw all of the programs, met with the government regulators, like really was intimate with that loan program and realized that a lot of people did not qualify. Let me tell you the key. A lot of people did not qualify when they made the mortgage 40 years. Like I said, it doesn't reduce the payment enough to really do anything from a 30-year to a 40-year. It's such a small difference, stretching it out over that time. And then they would have to do a balloon payment at the end. And that's what they would do a lot of the time. So if you were like $20,000 passed on your mortgage payment, they would stretch it out to 40 years and then put like a balloon of like $18,000. You get what I'm saying? Like it was ridiculous. And that's why most people did those loans and honestly still went into foreclosures or they still sold the loans to investors and things like that, which brings me to my point, to present day, where you really should not get so much involved in that type of stuff. If you're behind on your mortgage payment, obviously you could reach out to the lender, look for a modification. But I'm going to be honest with you. You'd be better off if you're behind on your mortgage payment to find an investor. Okay, that can take over those mortgage payments, that can buy that home from you, that can lease that home from you, something like that. So you don't go into foreclosure, because the modifications, most people, like 90% of the people that apply for loan modifications are denied. It creates almost this scam culture where people are charging borrowers that are behind on their mortgage payment. They're charging them to help them get a loan modification, which is absolutely free. You do not pay for a loan modification, nor do you pay some company to help you with a loan modification. Like these are just things that starts to happen. You start to see the foreclosure scams where people are like, pay me a fee and I can stop the foreclosure for you. All of those things are scams. Okay. They are do not pay anybody for a loan modification. Do not pay pay anybody for help with the foreclosure unless they are going to literally take over those payments. They're going to buy it from you and buy the home from you. You get what I'm saying? And go through an attorney. Okay. So this is not something that you should be willy-nilly playing around, because you end up losing your home and ending up still with a foreclosure and bad credit. So long story short, what's going on in the housing market is insane. Okay, it is insane. All right, Jeremiah just wrote, do you mentor new agents? Yes, in a way. So I actually have a broker, so it depends on if you're in Florida or not, and we can talk about that a little bit later. I actually do a Q&A at the time, so let me not get too far off when I see your chats come in. So long story short, let's talk about like what you really can do in this situation. Like, okay, the housing market is going insane. Like I said, this video that I'm making you though is how to invest in real estate for beginners. Okay, so because I want you guys to do this because it's almost very similar to what was happening in 2009 and 2010, where a lot of people, we know a recession is coming. Like, let me be real with you. A recession is coming. I'm not saying there's a mortgage housing crash the same way that happened in 2009, but there is going to be a recession. So people are going to be losing their jobs. We've already started seeing bank collapses. We're going to start to see more foreclosures. So this is happening regardless to whether you're prepared or not. But I suggest you listen and you get prepared. Let me go over to the board, because I kind of prepared something where I wanted to teach this in a simple way so that you guys could really understand. Okay, Texas here too, yes, and I love Texas. One of the great things about Texas too is that they really do protect a lot of the homeowners by not doing a lot of cash out refis and stuff like that. But anyway, let me get to it, because this is the blueprint. Okay, I'm going to give you guys the blueprint. And it's so funny because I literally pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn what I'm about to teach you. Okay, and there's going to be a lot of things. And there's so many of you guys up here right now. There's going to be a lot of you that are going to be able to capitalize on this. Okay, love Jersey in the house, Houston, baby. Yes, good real estate markets, first of all. So let's kind of talk about what the blueprint, because it's really just 3 major steps to real estate investing. Like, this is not as complicated as people think. This is not something that requires a lot of money. This doesn't even require you to use your own credit. Okay. And I'm going to teach you all of that right here. So really what I learned and what my coach taught me was that there are 3 things that you're going to do to get deals and to get yourself where you have real estate as a source of income. Again, you can replace your income and then quit your job the same way that I did. Like I said, at the time I was working at Chase and I was already kind of getting on my way out. Okay. I had went to school, but I had learned real estate and I was doing houses and I was starting to get my rental properties. And now obviously I'm here today as a multimillionaire. So let me tell you guys this. So the first thing that we really want to talk about when it comes to the blueprint is step 1 is going to be marketing. Okay. So because you already know what's going on in the market, and you're already here kind of learning, you're in the right place at the right time. I love you. I love you. Marketing, like basically, what does that mean? That means putting out advertisements that you buy houses, that you're a cash buyer, you're looking to buy homes, cash for homes. You guys have seen those signs, we buy houses. You know, I have those shirts that we wear and I walk around like Walmart and different stores with a shirt that says I buy houses and some cards in my hand. I am marketing, okay? Marketing to find people that are behind on their mortgage payments, people that are in bankruptcy, foreclosure, all of these different things. Okay. But for this example that we're talking about, really, is people that are behind on their mortgage payments. Okay. Because we already know that they're already people. So this is one of the things that where you could market and talk about modifications, or like, do you need a modification ? And then start talking to the person about what I just told you, that statistically, you can look this stuff up. Most mortgage modifications fail. So why not just sell the house? Okay. People are so afraid to just sell the house when the mortgage is the issue, not really the house. So you're going to market, find people that are having a property problem. You put out signs, you'll send letters, you wear shirts, you do business cards, the door hangers, so many different things to market. And again, very low cost. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Like I said, I started, for you guys that don't know, I started investing in real estate when I was dead broke. Okay. I was living in my parents' basement. I was broke. I was bankrupt. I had multiple foreclosures because I started investing in real estate and I had no idea what I was doing. I had a full-time job and was trying to flip houses on the side. So guess what? When 2008 happened and I lost my job, I lost everything because I did not know what I was doing. And I didn't even know even a half of this stuff that I'm about to teach you. But I started going to different classes. I started going to different seminars. I started going to different real estate investor meetings. And I started to learn how real investors got their properties for pennies on the dollars, how they started getting houses in distressed situations. And all you have to do to find people in distressed situations is market to them. And you don't market to them and saying, hey, I buy distressed homes. No, I buy houses. I buy ugly houses. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Are you past due? We can help. Those things. Okay, those things. But again, you're not going to be helping them with mortgage modifications, and you're not going to help them, get a foreclosure like those foreclosure rescue scams. You're going to literally buy the house or give it to someone like an investor that can buy the house and get paid for that. Okay, so there's nothing illegal, nothing unethical. You actually are going to help people the right way out of these situations when they're behind on their mortgage payments. Okay, and that's what I did, just help them out and get the house sold so that it's off of their credit report. They don't have to worry about the payments anymore. Even if they lease it to someone that has money that can rent it from them, they are in a different situation and they don't have to ruin their credit. So I was able to do this though from my parents' basement. Okay, from my parents' basement. Do y'all get that? Literally from my parents' basement. Broke, bankrupt, bad credit, no job, no money, made signs. Okay, put signs out, sent some cheap letters to people and marketed to them and started getting deals. And investors were paying me $5,000 for each deal. So this is not just wholesale. So it's funny. Somebody says, is this wholesaling? That's one of the options. Let me finish. Let me finish here, please. Save your questions to the end because I'm teaching you this. And this is not just wholesaling. That's a one trick pony. Like I said, I'm a multi-millionaire. Why would I just teach you about one thing? And that is such a thing that drives me crazy. People are like, are you talking about wholesaling? That's one of like 12 different things that we can do with the property. Okay, but that is one option. Don't get me wrong, but it depends on the property. So let's keep going. All right. So the second thing that you're going to do, and this is super easy, is you're going to convert the borrowers. Okay, so you're going to just talk to them. So you're finding them, you're getting them on the phone, and you're letting them know that you are a cash buyer. You're connected to real estate investors. Don't apologize. Now you're making me feel bad. Don't apologize. Just say save your questions because I'm gonna get to that part. So it's convert. It's talking to the borrowers. Okay, and again, super simple. Different little scripts and stuff that you say that hi, I'm Noelle. Let me give you kind of one off the top of my head. Hi, I'm Noelle Randall. I'm with ABC Properties. I'm connected to a network of cash buyers, and we're interested in buying your home. And then you just say that, and they're like, okay. And you don't say, I heard you were in for foreclosure, or I heard you were behind on the payments, none of that stuff, okay? And then you easily can get them to start having that conversation, okay? Because again, you didn't just go find people that are happily living in their homes. They are having an issue. Okay, they're behind on the payments, bankruptcy, foreclosure, things like that. Okay, and then here's the fun part. Okay, and here is where you make money. Step 3. Solve. Okay, this is where you will decide what you're going to do with the property. So in some cases you might wholesale the property. In some cases you might lease the property. In some cases you might lease with the option to buy the property. In some cases you might do an auction on that property. In some cases you might keep it and do a fix and flip. You may do an equity partnership. You may do a partnership with an investor where you find the deal and you partner with an investor and we do a fix and flip on it and then you get paid off the end. So there's just all of these different things to solve the solution where you create a solution to the problem. Okay, and there's different options. There are so many different options. And that's what I'm saying. That's how I ended up in my parents' basement, thinking that there weren't all of these different options. But here is the key, how you're going to make a lot of money and why you really want to do this. Let me get to that part, because this is the part that you really need to understand. Okay, because this is the part where I don't think most people get it. I really don't. I love you guys to death, but I don't think most people really understand why real estate creates millionaires. Okay, I don't think people do. So let me quickly explain that. Obviously, coming up to buy a property, you need money, right? Most people are like, yeah, but how am I going to get real estate, Noelle? With I don't have $20,000 down payment. I don't have $50,000 payment, things like that. So you do not really need this. Most of the time, energy, and effort that you're going to spend, the money is going to be here. Okay. And again, this doesn't have to be your own money. I'm going to get to that in a second. Okay. Because you're not going to need a money for down payment with different options that we teach you. Obviously, if you do a lease with an option to purchase, or if you do a wholesale, different things like that, even if you buy the property with a lot of the stuff that we do subject to, you do not need a down payment. Okay. And so, but here's the key though, because in real estate, it's not just about the down payment. This will make you money. Why? Because real estate goes up in value over time. Okay. Just generally speaking, I need you to understand that it is an appreciating asset. So if you buy a piece of property at $200,000, 3 years, 5 years from now, it is worth 300,000. You get buy a property for 200,000. Pretty much in 2 to 5 years, you probably have a house that's worth $300,000 right now. And for those of you that think I'm just BSing, this was said in this book right here. If you have not read, and again, I'm not a fan of everything in this book, but it is a very simple understanding of how long you should keep your properties. And Robert Kiyosaki, this book has been out over 25 years. Okay, and in this book, he even says it, and that many years ago. So again, you don't even know that you need to go to college to get this. You're going to keep your properties 2 to 5 years. Now, no one said though that the mortgage had to be in your name. Okay, so whether the mortgage is in your name or not, the property is going up in value over time. So let me tell you what I do and how I did this. So like I said, obviously didn't need money for a down payment, spent my money just making letters and putting out signs. That's the only money that I ever spent. And like I said, I think I had $800 total that I spent to get my first deal worth like 17,000. Okay. Because real estate goes up in value over time. So this is what you kind of need to know. So if you're keeping your properties every 2 to 5 years, just think you just get one deal. Okay. You didn't put a down payment. The mortgage stayed in the seller's name. You did it subject to, you own the property, you're on the title. Again, you go to a closing attorney, you do this legally. Okay. And now the property is legally yours. Now you're responsible for the mortgage payment because you're going to put a tenant in there. You're going to put it on Airbnb. You're going to, or maybe you'll just fix it up really quickly, paint, put some tile, put some flooring in there and resell it, fix and flip. We call those quick flips. We sometimes just do paint and flooring, and that's a quick flip. And we turn the property in 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, so it depends on the property, but more importantly, it depends on where it is. So, but I'm not going to get to that just yet. Give me a quick second. So again, this makes you money. It's going to go up in value over time. So you get this one property, okay? And you get this first property and say, like I said, it was $200,000, okay? And then you keep it, you keep a tenant in there for 2 years, okay? Just 2 years. Now it's worth $300,000, okay? And I have tons of properties like this, literally, okay, that are now worth more than they were before. But in many cases, you got this property with equity in it. Okay, because remember, it wasn't you that put the down payment. So let's just talk about marketing, going back to marketing. If you found somebody that's behind on their mortgage payment, they're about to lose the house. They're about to go into foreclosure. So guess what? Their credit is about to be ruined. They're about to have a 10-year public records on their credit report. Their sheriff is coming to their house to throw all of their things out, and they have lost all of the down payment and all of the payments that they have made to the mortgage lender. Okay, so they're in a bad situation. And if you are even just able to take over those payments, which is what we do, either or if we lease the property and we cover the mortgage payment, the property is titled in our name. It's ours now. Now I actually took over all of that equity that they had. Even if it was only $10,000 or $20,000, whatever equity they have goes to me. You starting to get it. Okay, I see people like light bulbs going off. Like, right. So think about that for a second. And it's an easy thing to talk. When you're doing step number 2, it's very easy to explain to them. The house is going back to the bank. Okay, this is just in a foreclosure situation. It's going back to the bank. So they're losing their payments, their down payment. They're losing those stuff regardless. But if you don't want to get kicked out and thrown out and ruin your credit, here's what you could do. Okay, so let's keep going for it. So now the property has gone up in value over time, and now it's worth $300,000. Okay, so this is now paid off, and you have $100,000 cash. That's your profit. So guess what? What would you do with that? If this property, even just for example, even just cost you $10,000. I'm just using a crazy number. Okay, just say it cost you $10,000. They were super behind on their mortgage payment, and you had to catch them up. All right. Now you have $100,000 in equity when you go to sell it, because again, the seller is gone. All right. So now, right, somebody said a 1031 exchange. That is one of the things that you can do to protect yourself, and so you don't have to pay capital gains taxes. Okay. Because when you go and you sell an investment property, you have to pay a lot of taxes. So guess what we do? We don't pay a lot of taxes. We do an exchange, and we put that $100,000 into a 1031 exchange. And now we get what? Another house, then another house, then another house, then another house. So we turned that one house into 4 houses. And guess what? Now all of these houses are doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing. They're going up in value over time and they're cash flowing. Because we didn't even talk about that. Like, what were you doing with this property for the 2 years that while it was going up in value? You had a tenant in it, or you put it on Airbnb, something like that. You were making money off of the property. You could, I mean, there's so many different things that I could talk about. Like, I really could just go crazy and just talk about all of the different things. You get, like, there's so many. So technology has changed so much that there's vacation rental homes, there's home away, there's peer space. Like a lot, even properties we use, people shoot music videos in them and use them for that when they're like literally different ways that we monetize our properties. There's probably at least 7 different ways. Okay, so it's making money this whole time, and then I sell it. Okay, people said refinance. That's an option that you could do. You could definitely do that. Now, instead of getting 100,000, obviously they cap you at a refinance. So maybe if you refinance, say you didn't get 100, say you only got 68. You know what I mean? Because you got to leave some equity in the property. They don't usually let you do 100% LTV on a refinance. So instead of 100,000, say you just do a refinance so that you keep this property because you don't even have to sell it. That's another fun thing. That's why I said there's so many different options and there's so many different ways on how we make a lot of money. But the key to it is how we can easily turn one property into 4 properties in just a matter of a couple of years and then do that again. Okay. And you look up and in 4 years, you're a multimillionaire. Literally. And you were making hundreds of thousands of dollars per year in the meantime. Because again, this is just one house. So imagine if you just do one every quarter, one every 3 months, and just get 4 houses in 1 year. And then the next year now you have 8 and 12. You get what I'm saying? So this really, really grows. Additionally, even just having these properties that you own and these mortgages not being in your name, okay? The mortgage is not in your name, so it's not on your personal credit report. All right. But the title, the deed is in your name. So you own them. So your personal wealth is up high. Okay. And that's really where you want to be as a millionaire. You want a lot of assets. You don't want a lot of cash. I know people think, I want $1 million cash. You do not. You would much rather $1 million in equity. Okay. Let me keep going. So let me tell you, because I want you to understand how you do this. So because I said, how would you do this? You're like, well, where did you get this $10,000 from? Well, let me explain that. You can easily, here's a bonus that I need you to understand, because this is the part that I did not learn until nearly 2017. Okay. And this is when I just shot to the moon. Okay. Like I said, I started really doing this hard in 2014. And then by 2017, added this to it and shot all the way, like to multi-millions, millions. Okay. Millions, millions, millions. This part right here. Here's a bonus. Okay. Because I didn't even know this. All right. Let's talk about this. You create a business. You create a business. I don't mean a holding company or an LLC. I'm not talking about like an LLC to hold these properties in. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about you actually create a business. All right. You create the entity. 5 simple steps. Okay. You're going to get an LLC or S Corp or C Corp, because this is not an entity that you're creating to hold properties. You're going to create a business. Okay. All right. So that you can get business credit and business funding, okay? And you don't have to use your social security number, and your assets are protected. So you're going to get an LLC, S Corp, or a C Corp. I'm not going to advise you which one to do. Just tell you I got an LLC, but you can do an S Corp or a C Corp, all right? But you need to get a registered with the Secretary of State. You're going to get a professional phone number, a professional email, a website, and again, nothing fancy, and a business checking account, okay? And a business checking account. And just that business checking account and getting 3 months of just showing some activity is going to open up the floodgates where people are going to start lending you money in your business's name. 20,000, 10,000, 40,000. You can start applying for grants. You can start really doing something, and people will start giving you money for you to do this. Okay? Seriously. All right. So you want to create a business entity, and then you can start not only putting your properties in an LLC. You won't put it in the same. I'm talking 2 separate. Like, you might create an LLC to put your properties in that just holds your properties, but then you also have a business that you're using to create business funding and business credit with, and you're going to build business credit with. And it's really just that simple, 5 simple steps, okay, to get a business going, and that a fundable business that people will lend to, okay. All right. And you get a business checking account and you start putting some money in there. Now, all of a sudden, oh, wait a minute, this is a real business. And now all of a sudden, you're going to get your first offer probably in about 3 months for at least $10,000. And this is what my students are seeing. Seriously, you set the business up right, you get the business checking account, you do the stuff that I say, me and my students, they get at least $10,000. And then this is what they use for their marketing and possibly to catch up people's mortgage payments. They get their first property in a year, they're selling it or they're refinancing it and getting more properties. And in a year, you look up, you're a millionaire. And it's really that simple. Okay, so when you're looking at the opportunity, I know I started with 40-year mortgages and what people were doing with that. And I'm telling you, you know something people don't know. You know that most mortgage modifications fail. You also know that 40-year mortgages are no good. And you know that when people go to apply for a loan modification, they're going to be offered a 40-year mortgage. You know that. And you know that most of the time, even if they're approved, they're in a bad situation. That's the crazy part. Even if they're approved for the loan modification, they're in a bad situation. So you can start the same way that you're going to start seeing commercials. Are you behind your paper? You need a loan mortgage modification. You're going to be targeting those same people. It's like, do not do a loan modification. Just sell the home. Obviously, you cannot afford it. And I know that's a harsh conversation for me to say to people, but at the same time, it's the best thing. Trust me. I swear on my life, I wish I would have before I ended up in my parents' basement, I wish the investor would have came and saved me. If I would have known the things that I know and was connected to the network of people and investors that I'm connected to now, because they would have just bought the home for me or taken over the payments and fixed my credit. Okay? You get that. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so I've been up here for 30 minutes. I'm so sorry. I'm starting to sweat. My kids got to get in the bathtub. So this is how you do it. So let me tell you another real thing, because like I said, a recession is coming. I know that's hard for people to stomach and the thought of it and that uncertainty. But the thing that you need to do is start preparing yourself. Start building your business credit now and putting yourself in position. If you build a business and you have business credit and business fund, by the time the recession comes, now you're able to start scooping up those properties. And again, you could just do one or two properties. You don't have to do 50 properties. You can just get yourself two or three and start here, and then immediately you know what to do, and you're thinking like an investor, and you have properties that have equity in them. Okay, and then the great thing about what I'm saying with the business credit, and I haven't even gotten to that part yet, is that you don't have to worry about your personal credit anymore. You can basically fix your personal credit, because this is what I did. Any personal debt that you use to create the business, you push onto the business, meaning if you ran up your credit cards getting ads or something, and then they give you a business credit card. Well, guess what? I transfer that balance off of my personal credit card. I transfer it onto that business credit card. Boom, my credit goes up because my credit card is now a zero balance and I paid off the entire balance. So even if you have bad credit, it's so funny. I have students that actually are able to fix their bad credit with business credit. Because most of the time with business credit, your loan limits, your credit limits are much higher than your personal credit card. So if you may have a Capital One card and it may only have like a $1,500 limit or something like that, and they would give you a Capital One business card, and that one will have $10,000. The same person with the same credit. Why is that? Because businesses need money. And again, this is not for just you as a person for a business. This is businesses. Like, think about it. If Capital One is doing businesses, they're doing it for all sizes of business. So they know most businesses can't do anything with a $500 credit card. So that's why the limits and the things are so much higher. That's why it's easier to get a business credit card and pay off your personal credit cards and not even max out that business credit card. Y'all get that? Okay. And then at this point, now you fix your personal credit. You don't really ever have to use it. Like, literally, y'all just saw me pull up to my home. I'm not saying my home. This is my personal home. So it's not in my business's name, but that Lamborghini is. You get that? Okay, so let's keep going. All right, all right, all right. I love it. I love it. Okay, so here's the thing that I want to show you guys. So I actually have pulled this up because this is an event that I'm actually having. So like I said, I'm in here in my office, and people have asked about this because if you're thinking like, oh, I want to learn more, obviously I'm teaching you as much as I can, but I'm actually having an in-person event. Okay, but you have to get out from behind the computer. If you really are serious about learning real estate, you're going to have to get out of your home and come to somewhere. Okay, and so the Grow Your Wealth event is May 5th through May 7th, and it's super cheap. It's only $497. Okay, and that's 3 days of learning. Okay, so think about that for a second. You could spend the days, 3 days with me, my team. And hold on, let me get this so you can see it. Sorry. Like I said, I'm here in my office. So you can literally see on here on the TV. This is literally growyourwealthevent.com. All right. So let me go. Let me start. Can you see that? Y'all can see that. I'm trying to move it downwards. Uh, so you're seeing this May 5th through the 7th. You get your ticket. So let's click that just so you see that, okay? Because it's 3 full days, but the tickets are super inexpensive. Like I said, right now we have a special. So the VIP is $997, but the general is only $497, okay? And again, that's for 3 full days of training. And you literally get to come to Orlando, spend 3 days. If you already live in Florida, you don't even have to get the hotel. You don't have to travel far. And I'm going to take you on a tour of my properties, okay? With me, my team, literally showing you how to do this, okay? And how we do it and what properties you should buy. I have a Florida Real Estate Investor Association. And in fact, we actually have a free event tomorrow. So I know some of you are like, oh man, I'm not sure. We're actually having a free event tomorrow, Wednesday, April 19th at 5 p.m. at the Hilton Embassy Suites International Drive, okay, from 5 to 8 p.m. Free event with lots of real estate investors. There are going to be contractors there and stuff like that. And so literally we're having an investor association meeting. And then if you want to come to learn and train and see the properties, that's May 5th through May 7th. And that's only $497. So you can go to growyourwealthevent.com, get your tickets, because they're almost sold out. So I can teach you all of this, but more importantly, you can start seeing and touching like, okay, what would I do? Where should I get the properties? What should they look like? How much should I spend? Because we don't even have to buy our properties. There are many cases we lease them. We've leased apartments and made money off of them. Now, but if you're trying to make millions, I want to teach you how to get the business credit and how to get real properties, okay? So that you could do that. And if you go to Grow Your Wealth event, you got to go there. Go look at this website. Okay. Let me go one more time. Okay. Because like I said, this is where you would get your tickets. But let me keep showing y'all here. Let me back up a little bit so you can see this. Okay. Because I want y'all to go and look at all of it's moving so slow because we have some early bird discounts right now. So like I said, the ticket prices are about to go up. You see that right there. Prices are about to go up, and then they'll be all sold out. So you want to get to this now, quite frankly, and you want to learn like the exact formula to starting a business with business credit. Okay, you want to know how to get this done in just a weekend, so that when you go back on Monday, you know exactly what to do. Okay, and then you want to meet other like-minded people. And I'm also going to have a party. There will be some other high net worth people there. If you go to the website, you even get to see, again, growyourwealthevent.com. You'll get to see that there's a party, there's food included. Like you don't even have to bring a meal. It is all day. We give you lunch, we give you breakfast, we give you dinner. There's a chance to win over $10,000 in prizes. We give away vacations. We do a lot because we're really bringing you into the network and starting to introduce you to the fact that you can have the life that you want, that this does not have to be some fairy tale. This doesn't have to be some fantasy. You really can do these things. Okay. So we give you this. All right. You get a full workbook that you can take with you and write notes and stuff in where it has all of the information. Okay. Again, let me talk about this. So, what we're talking about here, like I said, it's the 5th. So most people are going to arrive on the 4th. Okay. If you're out of town, you're going to arrive on May 4th. And then May 5th, we are going to have that party. Okay, the networking party, you're going to get your backpack. And then Saturday morning, we do breakfast. We get on the tour. You come back, you learn some more. Then we do another networking party. I bring some of my high wealth people. You get to network with them. And so on. Then on Sunday, we do another brunch and learn where we sit down, we have brunch together. Okay, and then we learn. And I'm teaching you guys again. So then on Monday morning, when you leave this event, you know exactly what to do. Okay, because not only have you just kind of been here watching and listening to some of the things, it's clear to you because you actually got to see it. Okay. And in many cases, I know people think like, oh my gosh, she's this, she has that. But many cases, when you see the properties, you're like, wow, this is a townhouse, or wow, this is just like a condo, or, and not to say that they're raggedy properties, because we have nice properties, but we didn't spend a lot of money for them. And we want to show you how to get them. And it's a lot of times I can't interact with you here on social media, here on YouTube. So when you're here, you get to actually walk through the properties and see. And so that's why I want you to go to the website. If you haven't, just go to the website and check it out. I'm telling you, get your tickets. It's a guarantee. Okay. And I'm actually doing a guarantee. Okay. And this is big. We have what's called a risk-free guarantee. Okay. So if you come to the event for 3 days and you do a deal in 6 months, we reimburse your tuition. You get all of your money right back. Okay, so it's risk free because more than anything, I don't want you to just come to the event, learn, and then leave. I want you to do a deal because that is truly what I'm here for. Obviously, like I said, I love y'all to death, but I'm already rich. I do. I'm not saying that in a braggy way. I'm saying that in the most humble way. So when I'm telling you that I'm wanting you to be successful, it's because you will do deals. We can partner with each other. And I know a lot of the times when you first get started, you need someone to wholesale the deal to, or you need someone to do the financing. You find the deal, I find the financing. So by me teaching you, just being honest, you're going to bring me deals. Okay. And then as you grow, then you'll be keeping the deals. But your first deal or two, you're probably going to wholesale to me or somebody on my team, or, want somebody in the network, or you're going to use us for funding. Obviously, we have an entire funding operation, new lending, NUULENDING, new lending. And we have all different types of loans. Okay. We have fix and flip loans. We got refinance. We got BRRRR. If you want to do BRRRR, which you buy, renovate, refinance, put a tenant in there, repeat that. We have business loans, personal loans, every different type of loan that you need for funding wise. But in many cases, again, I want you to build a business first so that you're not using your personal credit. I'm not telling you to borrow money to do these things. I'm telling you to learn, get educated so that you don't need any money. Any money that you have, spend it on learning, on getting this information, getting close to a millionaire, people that are actually doing real estate so you can learn how to do this, because most people lose money investing in real estate because they don't know what they're doing. They buy the wrong properties. During the conversations with the sellers, they're saying the wrong things. They're offering the wrong numbers. They just don't know what they're doing. And so I want to make sure that you listen to me, watching me, you understand you can do this the right way and make a lot of money. Okay. There's a lot of wrong information out there for people. Like I said, I'm a real estate broker, but I'm probably the only investor friendly one, because most of the time your real estate broker, if you're a real estate agent, they don't want you flipping houses and wholesaling or doing deals like that, because they want you to get a commission, because that commission comes to them and then they split it with you. That's how real estate brokers work. The broker gets the commission and then gives it to the agent. Trust me, I know this. And they make a whole bunch of money on desk fees. But I'm not even really into that. That's a stream of revenue. I'm not knocking that, but I am a real estate investor. I'd much rather be a landowner. Okay. I'd much rather have my empire. And that's what I want you to do. The wealthy, the powerful, we own real estate. You have to have ownership in real estate. That is where the power comes in. We talk about, let's go back in the day a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. People that look like me, maybe my race, maybe my gender, we weren't even allowed to own real estate. They created laws, okay, outlining they wouldn't even lend to us, okay? And now in 2023, we don't have those barriers anymore. And so we have to catch up, because we're kind of behind, some of us. I ain't gonna, if you start getting to that, I'm not gonna preach or anything to y'all, but we gotta catch up. And the easiest way for us to catch up as a community is we need real estate and we need businesses. We have to start having a voice. We have to start having an economic voice. This is not about marching and asking and begging for someone to give you rights. If you own real estate, you have a voice. If you own a business, you are now an economic powerhouse. Okay, so you can't just sit back and be a victim of this stuff, especially when I understand that they're not sharing all this information with you. I do. I understand. I had to pay a lot of it to even learn the amount that I know. That's why I'm loving to, I can share these things with you. But I will tell you the next thing, the next step, if you want to take this to the next level, you got to come see it. You got to see. You got to come see where the properties are. You got to get your numbers so that you can go home and do the same thing. And in many cases, you can own real estate in Florida, which is one of the highest tourism areas in the country. Okay. And I own real estate in Florida before I even moved here. When I was living in Texas, I was starting to realize, wait a minute, Florida is popping, the whole state. And that's why I created the Real Estate Investor Association. So people that's not just in the state, people that are out of the state can own real estate in Florida and make a lot of money. Okay, because you can own real estate in your state and in other states. Y'all know that, right? Okay. So I don't want to, I'm not gonna get political on y'all, but the truth of the matter is we gotta start learning, doing, and then teaching. Okay, because actually, as I go to the next platform I'm on TV, I can't get into this depth. You start interviewing people and you just asking questions and TV shows and stuff like that. So I'm making sure that I am here now, giving y'all the blueprint on how I did this, how I got wealthy, and this is things that I'm shocked out of my mind. How many people don't know? How many even professional people don't know? So I love y'all so much. You are so welcome, Sonny. You are so welcome, Maya, Jeremiah, Tax Details. Like I said, I would be here all day if I talked about all of the different ways. But if you come out for these 3 days, we're going to get into more in depth. And then you're going to be able to choose which one of those things. That's another thing. I can sit here and name all of these different things, 20, 30 different ways to get properties, but you're not going to go after all 20 or 30 ways. You got to pick which one you're going to focus on so that you can get this, so you can get to the bag. Okay. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to be modifications and foreclosures. Okay. And this is Noelle. Y'all never hear me up here talking about crypto. I never, not one time. Although you've been following for years, I still with this because this is what got me rich. And as many people have tried to take me down, you can't take me down because I have real estate and I do the right things. So you could say all the negative and lies and make up stuff that you want to, but I'm never talking about crypto. I'm not in any of those lawsuits or any of that crazy stuff that people on YouTube was talking about because I never got into crypto. I always stay with real estate and business. Those are the two things. I have an MBA. So I know business and I know real estate. And that's why I'm here teaching y'all these things because this is the way to wealth. And we really want to change our community. We really want to change our financial situations. I got to preach to y'all. You have to do this. You're going to need land. You could buy lots. You could do mobile homes. I'm not even going to knit you into, oh, you can't do that. You could buy land if you just want to and do this and make a whole bunch of money. Okay. I know people that really just do lots and lands. Some people just buy lots and then sell it to the builder. Like there's so many different things. But if you come this, we'll rate this. We'll work this. Come to the Grow Your Wealth event. Okay. I love y'all so much. Go to the growyourwealthevent.com. Get your tickets right now before they sell out. If you are in the Florida area, Orlando area, we are having a real estate investor association meeting on April 19th, 2023. It starts at 5 p.m. The Grow Your Wealth event is May 5th through the 7th. It's the last. I'm not doing another one in June. So if you missed that, I'm so sorry for you. But you need to start making an effort to really learn this so that your June is much different. Because think about it, if you come to this thing in May, by June, you rocking and rolling. But you don't want to wait till the recession hits and then start trying to come up with a plan. Because I'm already telling you what's happening. And I'm telling you, like your sister, I love y'all so much. When I tell you I'm up here, my kids is downstairs, I'm locking the door. I love you so much that I want you to be successful because I want someone and more than one of you to be able to take my place. I've inspired so many people. There's other people with YouTube channels. I love them. There is abundance. I have an abundance mentality. I know that I can do real estate and so can you. I know that I can do YouTube and so can you. There's room for all of us. But so many of us are just sitting on the sidelines waiting for something to happen. And you're going to get caught up and end up in a bad situation if you don't start thinking, okay, wait. Recession is coming. Everybody's talking about it. I know I can set up a business. I know I can get business credit and business funds in my business's name, and I can get me at least one property. And I just hold on to it for a year or two. I will do not even just what Noelle was saying. I'm going to do what Rich Dad Poor Dad told me to do. And y'all pick up this book. Who wants this book? Because I'm going to give this book away. I'm actually mail it to somebody. Actually, you know who has been? Jeremiah Roberts. You have been so amazing. If you email my team at contact@noellerandall.com, Jeremiah, I'm going to send you a signed copy of my book. As I bought a few of these for my students. And this book, again, this is not my book. This is Rich Dad Poor Dad. This book came out 25 years ago. And why I had it here, obviously this is my office. I have all kind of books here, okay? Like I said, you guys, I have all kind of books, all right? And so this is one, though, that I really like because it has a lot of basics for beginners. Ty just bought the book. Good job, Ty Lewis. Good job. This book here, and again, I don't get any money for this. It has a lot of the basics so you can start to get your mind around. I have to start thinking different. Why this book has lasted for so many years, not that this is the biggest personal finance book ever, best written book in the world. It's because it's easy to read and because it's truth. He's a rich person, just like Noelle, telling you the truth. So it's a credible person telling you what they did. And he still deals in single family residence. Okay. And I know there's other YouTubers out there. There's this guy that people love comparing me to. And he's always talking about buying apartment buildings. But guess what? He sells apartment buildings. Okay. He sells apartment buildings. So he's telling you that's the only thing to do. No, sir. No, ma'am. You all different types of real estate. I have people that have just one hotel and make millions. Okay, because again, you could sell your hotel. So guess how much money you make when you sell a hotel? Right. You getting it. You getting it. So all right, I will see y'all later. I love you so much. Y'all can do this. I pour my heart into y'all. I'm telling you every single time. If somebody is telling you negativity, that you cannot be wealthy, that you cannot be rich, stop talking to that person. Okay? You can be. I used to be broke, bankrupt, and in my parents' basement. Everybody counted me out. And guess what? Not anymore. All right. Love you so much. To your success.